Welcome to Cosmic Channels. I'm your host, Braden. This is your show. I just hosted. This is a call-in show where you can share your stories of paranormal experience, ghost stories, alien encounters, spooky stories. You seen Bigfoot? I want to know. The lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. And we've already got some donations. Every single thing that goes into the show, that we get for the show, we put right back into the show. So every dollar raised, we put back in for ad revenue to try to grow the show. And just like that, we got a call on the line. Let's bring the caller on the line. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, mofo? This is John Jacoby from Ohio, Cincinnati.
Hey, what's going on? Just make sure to mute the live stream in the back there.
It's not on.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well then we're all good. I can definitely hear myself though.
Oh, you can't hang on.
Yeah. What's going on here? I think so. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, I can hear you good. What do you got for us today?
Okay. Well, you guys are talking about Puma Punka.
Yeah.
And I was watching this show and I made a connection. Look up the Cook Pyramid in Africa.
Hold on one second. Something's giving background feedback here. Okay, hold on. I think I sorted it out. Go again. Talk for a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Your phone. I don't know if are you on speakerphone?
Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's go through it one more time. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John Jacoby from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Beautiful. What do you got for us tonight?
Okay, so I made a connection listening to Puma Punka, and the H's that they were making.
Yeah. The locking H blocks.
Have you ever heard of the Kush people in Africa?
No, I have not. Enlighten me.
It's Kush. Look up the Kush pyramids. They had those same H blocks in front of their pyramids.
Kush pyramids.
I was watching a TV show and it came on and I was like, what?
That is quite interesting. I mean, they look very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're from two total different continents,
That is interesting. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Why is that?
I don't know. I guess everybody loves the letter H. I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, it is a good letter. It's interesting. Yeah. Two different civilizations on two continents, using the same kind of block styles.
Yeah, they were like the first black pharaohs that came up to Egypt and conquered and took over.
Interesting. I don't know much about them. I'm just looking at pictures.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Like this, the same, a very distinct H. I think these ones, the H's the Kush people are using, they look quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, and I also thought maybe at Puma Punka, maybe they built those H blocks, made their houses out of mud bricks, and then, with weathering, maybe their bricks all washed away and they only had the H blocks that were left,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's maybe.
I don't know.
I'm having some audio issues here. I might have to get you to call back here. I'm getting feedback. I'm not sure if it's from you or if it's from me.
It's probably from me. I'm at work, so.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to let you go.
I'll hop out.
Thanks for calling in with that. I'm having feedback. It's hard to speak. I hear myself in my own ear. So thanks, calling, okay. John. Sorry about that.
You, man.
We'll talk to you later. Just like that, the lines are back open. Hopefully, I'm just going to quickly check my settings. I think I'm all good. I think that might have just been something to do with his phone. But the lines are back open. 1-833-703-0424. Like I was saying before that caller, every dollar we raise for the show, we put back in. We've been running ad campaigns all week, and we're saving up. We're saving up for right now. We are saving up for podcast ad campaign. We're going to run some ads on Cosmic Channels for in the front of all those other great shows. We'll see what we can get, but that's a $500 goal amount. So, but we need a caller on the line. You got a story? You're humming. Should I call in? Call in. One, I need to check to make sure it's not on my end that I'm having these echoes. So, I just want to make sure it's the caller and not me. So someone else call in. If not, I got a couple fan read stories we'll go to while we're waiting for someone to call in the lines. Give about a minute. You know what? Let's just go to that. We're going to go to the lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. You got a story. I'm going to send you over to a fan submission. So if you don't like calling, you don't like the sound of your voice, you get nervous on the phone, that's all good. All I want you to do is go to send your story, email form to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com, and we'll let you know. Just before I was going to send it away, we got a call on the line. Let's bring him on. Hello, caller.
Hey, Braden.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Anna from Louisiana.
Hi, Anna. How are you today?
Hey. I'm good. I don't have a story. I was just helping you test your lines.
Oh, perfect. I am absolutely blown away here. I can hear the softest, faintest echo. And
I'm in my kitchen. I don't know if that...
What? It's got to be on my end, I would imagine. How about that?
You want to work on that, or?
Well, I think... Check. Well, it's not that I don't really hear it now, so it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing of all time. Like, it was so bad for me that it was hard to talk because when you hear yourself like a second behind everyone, that's how it was. So I'm not sure where. I'm like looking at all my settings. I have no idea where that audio would be coming in, but sounds good. Sounds good now. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to pin it on you, but I don't know why I was getting an echo. Anyways, Anna, while we're talking, I'm going to send these people to fan submissions. So you can, if you want your story read on air, and you don't want to call in, send it to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com, and you'll never know who will read it. Let's go to a fan submission.
Hi, I'm Shadowworthy from the ATT Discord, and I'm going to read you a fan submission today. Hey, thought you guys would want to see this. It was a weird experience made even more odd after I saw the picture I took. First, here's some relevant background that may lend some credibility. I'm 30 years old, well-educated, and wouldn't consider myself a conspiracy theorist or overly obsessed with that kind of stuff. I spent 5 years in the Army as a paratrooper, doing all sorts of night operations in C-130s, C-17s, and helicopters, including hundreds of missions in Afghanistan at night. After that, I worked for the DOE as a defense contractor. They basically have SWAT teams that guard the nuclear material and classified data. During this time, I had the highest security clearance you can get and was interviewed by psychiatrists every 6 months to ensure I am sound of mind. I left that job to work overseas in the Middle East as a paramilitary contractor, and I was involved with protecting various agency assets and data there, and was also cleared to do so. I only bring all this up to stress a few things. 1. I have been around helicopters, airplanes, drones, even stuff you can't just Google if you know what I mean, and other flying things. I know exactly what these known aircraft look like at night. 2. I have been trusted for over a decade now with protecting highly classified information and materials, and am constantly checked on my mental capacities. All of these tests I pass easily, proving I am very mentally stable. Now, here's the story. About 3 weeks ago, I was having trouble sleeping. I always do. I live out in the country, and I can see the night sky very clearly. I looked outside the window at what I thought was Venus, since it was so bright and had an odd coloring. Then Venus, quotations, moved diagonally very fast and came to an immediate stop. No speeding up, no slowing down. I figured it was my eyes adjusting, so I kept watching. It did this about 6 more times before I finally admitted to myself that I wasn't just imagining things. Remember from my background info, if this was a known aircraft, I would recognize how it moves. Nothing moves like this did. It was changing colors very smoothly too. It was seemingly going through all the colors of the rainbow in random order. It would get dim, then very bright, then zip across the night sky, then dead stop. Sometimes it would do short hook movements, to which was very strange to see. I took my camera and took a picture to see if I could catch anything. Then I went back to bed. I've seen a lot of weird stuff in my life, so this wasn't exactly life-changing experience. Here is the picture. I promise it has not been photoshopped whatsoever. I zoomed in and cropped it. That's all. Interpret the image however you want. Lastly, if you want to hear more or have a question, that's fine, but I need to be anonymous. You guys are awesome. Thanks for your time. Jason Bourne. Now, Braden, I hope you can show that picture with this. But if you guys are too scared to call in, you can always write your story to CosmicChannelsPodcast@gmail.com, and you never know who will end up reading it on the show. Could be someone like me. Thank you.
And we're back. The lines are open. 1-833-703-0424. I think I have all the tech difficulties all done and dialed up. So if you got a story, you got a ghost story, paranormal story, you've been waiting to call, you got a theory that you want to pitch, 1-833-703-0424. Now's your chance. I sent that to Shadower, see that story, and the thing is, when you're writing, you got to make sure it's on you. If you say there's a picture, to make sure it's attached in the email. I scoured. There was no attachment. I did shoot a message back to the writer to see if I could get it in time. No such luck. But if it does pop up, I'll reach out to Shadower to do a little update with the attached picture. But we didn't have it for tonight. I need a call on the line. Come on, people. I need a call. I want to hear your ghost story. I want to hear a paranormal story. You had something scary happen to you. 1-833-703-0424. Big shout out to Bandito. Just rolling up in the top supporters with a big donation today. She's now officially going to be in the second highest supporter of the show. But we got a call in line. Let's go right to the call. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Braden. It's John from Vancouver. I'm Dagon Studios in the Peanut Gallery.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Not much.
So
I have a quick story for you.
Perfect. I think I figured out. I'm so glad I figured out that audio. It was so. Have you ever done anything where you're trying to talk and you can hear your own voice a half a second behind your own voice? Maddening. So I'm so happy that got sorted out quick. It was just a quick little settings issue that for some reason got changed. But let's go to it. What do you got? Let's hear it.
It's kind of like your typical spaceship story. So I've been in Vancouver.
I love how it's like it's just one of those regular old no big deal spaceships.
There was even a guy I think from North Bay a couple of weeks ago that called it. Very similar story, but so I'll be quick. But so this is back in Ontario in like late 70s, like 77, 78. I was at my grandparents' cottage camp, whatever you want to call it, and I'm playing outside, screwing around, doing whatever the heck. I think it was probably like 10, 11, but Everybody was inside the house. My grandparents, my two sisters, my mom and my dad, and some kind of heavy drinkers too. but yeah, so I'm outside playing around, and like I said, I was trying to make this short. I think what happened, there was a lot of frogs around there, and they all stopped chirping. So I remember looking up and seeing this great big black thing. I couldn't really discern the shape because it seemed like just above the tree line, and it was moving at a pretty good clip. But it was so big, it was there a long time. But this story is more about a gripe about my family, because I'm watching this thing, and
an airing of grievances.
Yeah, exactly. They start screaming at me to come and get some cocoa in the camp, and I'm like, this is more important. After like 7 times of them screaming at me, I come in there and I tell them my story, and it's like a 700 square foot cottage. Like, not one of them got up and looked outside after I told them. They're just sitting there drinking. Yeah, whatever, John.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty pissed off. And then I think what happened, I went back outside later and it was gone. But I guess the only kind of twist to this story is the next day. This was on Lake Superior, about two hours southeast of Thunder Bay. But the next day, I was listening to the radio with my family, and this guy comes on the radio. It was like a local station, and he had been working the night before, and he said he got like blasted with like, hundreds of calls from people saying they saw some weird shit. So, and I remember my grandmother saying like, "Oh, maybe that's what you saw, John." I was like, "Rah." Anyways, there's not much to the story, but.
Well, I mean, let's break that down a little bit, though, because there's a couple pieces that interest me. You said, like, very active frog population where you were, and just, complete silence when this thing was in the air?
Yeah, that's what kind of made me look around and look up, I think, because it's almost deafening sometimes. And then,
yeah, I know.
And the thing itself was quite silent, and there were no blinky, stupid, like, Spielberg lights on it. But somehow you could see it. It was kind of reflective. My grandparents had a lot of floodlights and stuff,
so it was
that's probably why I could see it.
It was just reflecting some light, so like maybe a little bit lower flow, like flying. Like how high do you think it was? Like definitely lower than like an aircraft kind of thing?
It looked like it was just above the tree line, which is probably not the case. But when you're a kid and you're looking up, but I wouldn't say it would be too much higher than that. Like it was like extremely close. And and then it just faded away, and I had to go drink my stupid hot chocolate. But yeah, it was quiet, very black, no lights.
Very black. You see, there was a caller last week who talked about kind of walking out, and just this. He described this like silence, right, of everything, and then he looked up, and there was just like a void. That's how he described it, like a void of light. He said it wasn't a cloud. It wasn't. He's like, he didn't know how to explain it other than it was just like. A void. There was no light in this area. Like you couldn't see stars, anything. It was just a black void kind of object. And then it just drifted away. But it's the animals all going silent. That's what freaked him out too. And this is to me just very similar because it's an interesting thing that the frogs would all go silent. Like those bastards don't stop for nothing. Usually a predator, right? Usually something that comes around, or like a dog, but like very quickly, like they get back at it.
And now you're scaring me.
Yeah, no, it's freaky, dude.
Anyways, I won't take up much more of your time, but that's pretty much my story. But yeah, I think you mentioned the guy you just mentioned. I think he was from North Bay, and it's very parallel kind of story. But
yeah, that is. It's very interesting. I wonder if the dates. When was the date of yours? Like, how old were you?
It was probably 1978, and it was August. I can't remember because I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah, so good. But maybe that'll spark. Maybe like it'll be one of those things where it was in a similar, similar. He was like, yeah, it was kind of around that same time. You never know, right? Maybe there was a flap going on in the area, but.
Yeah, I just wish there were more records back then with radio stations and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm sure they just turfed all those tapes and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably tough to find now. But hey, thanks for calling in with that. That's awesome. I love getting those stories.
Yeah.
There was a lot to that.
Sure.
Right? You were just young, but there's definitely connections that other people have talked about. So it's very interesting.
It's all about my lazy ass family, Braden.
Yeah. They wouldn't let you enjoy it, right? They wouldn't let you get abducted. They had to ruin it for you.
All right, I'll let you go. Thanks a lot.
Take care of yourself.
See you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, if you've seen something in the sky that causes the wilderness to go quiet, let me know. But we got callers on hold now. Lines are hot. Let's go to our caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I swear if you hang up on me, dude, I'm never calling again.
What's going on, Irish Potato? This has been a long time coming. I've been waiting for this. I will not. You set me up too good for a joke last time, and I will do anything for a laugh, so I had to hang up on you. I didn't even want to hang up on you. I honestly didn't. I truly wanted to listen to your story, but it was too comical to hang up on you in that situation that I had to do it. I won't do it to you tonight. What do you got for us?
Well, you better not. So I want to tell a story, but I want to preface with, like, I actually have a really good memory. I remember things from, like, when I was, like, 3 and 4 years old, but vividly. And I have memories of things, like, I have no business remembering. Like, I remember when I was really young, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like I was being introduced to a bunch of different people, and I felt like really proud about like where I was at. Like I just remember the feeling. I remember like I have a good memory, right?
Yep.
I'm sure you probably know I'm really short. I'm 5'3", and my whole life growing up, my family's always told me like, you're just like your uncle that died when he was 21, and he was always short. And from the ages of 18 to 21, he grew to 6 foot. So as a little kid who was short his whole life, if someone tells you you're going to grow to 6 foot,
yeah,
you're going to basically make that as like gospel to yourself.
Yeah,
right?
you're telling everyone.
Hold on.
You're telling everyone. You're like, yeah, I'm short now. Yeah, you just wait.
And I did. I told everyone that, bro. I was like, oh, I'm going to grow. And I was talking to my dad a couple months ago. And I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, I never got my growth spurt. Thanks. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, you told me that Stuart grew to 6 foot from the ages of 18 to 21. And he goes, no, dude. He was short his whole life. And I was like, that, there's no way. I was like, I swear you told me that. I remember aunts and uncles telling me that. So what I'm getting at, I am convinced that with the CERN, collider,
Yeah.
I really think that we shifted timelines, and here's why. My principal, or vice principal, when I was in high school, dated my uncle right around the time that he died. And I remember having a conversation with her about how my uncle was, because he lived in California, was trying to move to Idaho, but he went back and forth a lot. And she was like, when he'd come back, he was a little bit taller. He came back a little bit taller. And she's not a short woman. She's probably right around, 5'10", 5'11". So I'm like, why would she date somebody that was like 6, 7 inches shorter than her?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe love.
No issues there. Yeah, there's that. But like, then I also have another memory from her where she said he was short and I had no problem with it. So I don't know if there's really like any like backing to the story. I can't really prove any of this. Like, this is all, just hearsay and like memories, what they say about memories. Like, it's not really like, solid or like solid, like it's not solid.
Yeah, can't be trusted 100%, but your mind can definitely play tricks on you. But you're not the only one that is, that says that, that thinks about that theory. I've thought about it before 100 times. I mean, all you have to do is like look at Mandela effect things, and there's some where I'm like, that's not how I remember it. There's one actually, my spouse Jamie, she swears by, and I've always wanted to bring this up, and this is a perfect segue. There was, and I kind of, you know what? It's funny. I kind of vaguely remember it, but not to the point where she is, because it really bugs her. There used to be like Looney Tunes yogurt that you could get. It's like silver, like the cup yogurts when you were a kid, and each kind of flavor had a different Looney Tunes on it. Those didn't exist apparently, and it's like I can kind of remember them. She's like, I ate them, and like you cannot find pictures of these things anywhere. They seemingly, like, no one's ever heard of them. It's just one of those Mandela effect things. So then it makes you think, like, you know, have we, you know, did we get shifted into a new timeline and you just are having memories? Or, you know, I've always, you know, been along the same side of, like, you know, when I know I talk about it all the time. It's one of the craziest things, I think, that sudden savant syndrome, where someone hits their head and then all of a sudden they're like, I now play piano. Or I speak another language, and you're like, well, where did that information come from? Like, you would have had to learn that, and you just bonked your head and unlocked it. It makes me think that there's stuff in your brain that is just not accessible, and maybe there is parallel universes and stuff like that. And so maybe these are just memories just kind of crossing freely back and forth, right? Where you're like, where things are just ever so twisted differently in this, like, parallel reality that you just, you know, the thoughts and memories from that kind of ooze in. Maybe that's the thing.
That could be it. I mean, it's just weird to me. Like, I was thinking about that, and I was talking to my wife about it a little while ago, and she looks at me like I'm crazy, you know, like, okay, Sean, like, what are you trying to get at here? And, like, I can't explain it to anybody, like, but it bothers me.
Yeah, you're like, they changed something.
Like, something happened, and I am convinced that we're in a different, you know, parallel universe or whatever, but it's just weird. And I've been wanting to call in and tell that because maybe somebody else out there has something that's not connected directly to a Mandela effect, right? Like, This is something that is, like, personal to me. I remember my dad telling me that. I remember aunts and uncles telling me that. I remember one of my uncles looked at me and he goes, you look just like my brother at given age. And I mean, they haven't seen him, you know, in like 30, 40 years because he died when he was 21. But, like, it's just crazy for me to be like, oh, okay, like, I remember that. And then apparently he was short his whole life until the day he died. Like, it's just weird.
That is strange. Yeah. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe other callers will, you know, have the similar experience. Because, I mean, you go to Reddit boards and stuff like that, and, like, people, that's like a legit conspiracy theory that people think when they fired the collider on that it shifted us. It's done something that they didn't expect, and changed that stuff. So, hey, thanks for calling. I was tempted to hang up. I was tempted. I'm not gonna lie. I was tempted because I thought it would be funny, but I didn't do it.
I wanted to make one quick comment. There was a caller last week that made a comment about, like, ghosts and smells. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that. I know that actually to be pretty true. From when I called back about my high school, my murder high school is what you guys called it. Yeah. There's a lot of janitors that talk about right before they see a specific ghost, they smell perfume. Yeah. So it's actually pretty connected to scent and, like, seeing spirits and whatnot.
Dude, so, I could, just a quick theory I just want to ask you about. You have young kids?
I do.
I'm convinced that all VTech toys are powered by captured souls. So just so I don't know if anyone out there has any VTech baby toys. Get rid of them. They're poltergeist lures. They come on at middle of the night. They're not turned on. Buttons aren't being pressed. There's no sensors on these things. I don't know why people are like, oh, it's the sensors. I'm like, I've looked. There's no sensors. I don't know why this thing is singing to me in the middle of the night. Terrifying.
Or better yet, someone programmed it to go off at obscure time.
Yeah, 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. Hey, man, thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye. you got weird stuff that's happened to you, call in. You think we've been shifted into a parallel dimension, call in. I like hearing that stuff. We talked about last time too, if you've done a trip to a haunted house or a famous area, call in. Just like that, we got another caller on the line. Let's go right to them. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is John Jacoby. Is there an echo now?
Hey, no, there is not. It was on my end. I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, once I got the settings for the show set, I was like, I'm not touching anything ever again in here. I'm leaving it like this. So this was like, I was like, what is going on? And it just turned out to be a headphone setting, got switched to a default, which was causing me to hear my own mic. But it's all good. What were you calling? Let's talk. We can redo the conversation because I was really struggling to talk.
I'm not gonna go back into all that again. I just had one question, like a legit question.
Yeah, sure. Shoot.
How much would it cost for you guys to take a pod trip to Cincinnati?
Well, you can price that out yourself, brother. For flights, hotels, food.
I mean, I got a 5-bedroom, 2-bath log house by a lake.
Yeah.
So
it's just it's hard. It's hard at the moment right now with all of us having brand new little ones.
Well, you guys can bring them too. You guys can all stay at the house by yourselves. I'll stay somewhere else. How about that?
There is talks, about pod trips in the future, but we kind of said we were going to put them on hold for the first at least couple months until everyone kind of gets settled. So, but we'll keep you posted.
Lizard Caveman, I tried.
I had a feeling he was in on this. Thanks, John, for calling in and trying to convince. I'll pitch to the boys. I'll let them know. I'll pitch to the boys. So,
yeah, for real. Right. If you want to let me know a dollar amount, just let me know.
I'll look into it, man.
All right, I'll see you, man.
Take care of yourself. Lots of people sending love into the show. We're gonna smash that $500 goal. Trying to run a $500 ad campaign across all podcasts. The other thing is, if you want to, we had great success this last week with boosting social media posts, which made for a boost in listeners. So if you want to personally boost a social media post for a week, the minimum cost via Instagram is $42. So if I ever get a $42 donation, I am going to use that specifically to boost a post in whoever's name puts that donation. But other than that, we're trying to raise $500 so we can get that that podcast ad campaign going. But we got a caller on the line. Let's go right to the caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Skylar from upstate New York.
What's going on, Skylar? What do you got for us tonight?
So I wanted to talk about a little UFO story that I have.
Lovely. Let's hear it.
All right. So one time, I think it was probably like 2014, 2015, I went out to Webster Pier, I think, with a friend. And we were sitting out on like the flat rocks. And I remember seeing like a gold light and a green light just kind of like hovering way out on Lake Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just kind of like, they were separate lights, and they were doing kind of like figure eights up in the sky and just kind of flying around erratically, but like not very fast. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kind of bouncing around, but not, they weren't like going, coast to coast kind of thing, edge to edge of the sky.
Yeah, they were just kind of floating. They were kind of just doing their thing. They were like coming in and out, and I couldn't really like tell what they were. We didn't hear any sort of like, how like planes or drones or whatever sound, and so we didn't hear anything. And it was just, I almost felt like there was like a little bit of like like a psychic connection to the lights, if that makes sense.
I mean, a lot of people, do stay when they see these things. They feel like they're able, like there is some sort of communication between them, like there's a conscious connection. So that's a thing people experience when talking about
Right.
UFOs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what was it like for you, like specifically?
Honestly, like it sounds like weird, but it was almost like a spiritual experience. Like I remember feeling like a little scared at first, and then there was like a reassurance that we were safe, like there was no danger. And so we just kind of hung out for a while and we watched these lights, and it was getting kind of late, and we see like flashlights behind us, and lo and behold, it's the cops, because it got way too late in the park, and they were like, what are you doing down here? So we got kicked out of the park by the police and had to get like escorted back to our cars and stuff. So we would have stayed like so much longer, to kind of like see what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, the popo got us. And I made the fatal mistake of telling them what I saw. And
How'd they take
like,
that?
all right. Huh?
How'd they take that? Was it well received?
They thought we were having a little bit too much fun down there. So they ended up checking my friend Mitch's car for pot, because he thought we were high. We were like, we saw these lights and it was like so cool.
It is a little sad though that like that's a experience a lot of people have when trying to report these things. Is like, you on drugs, right? Like this, so dismissive.
Yeah, and it was just like we were so excited, and like it was very genuine, and we were just like, yeah, like you're not gonna believe it, you know what I mean? And then immediately gets taken to the realm of crazy. So
yeah, it's unfortunate that they didn't look into it, or maybe check to see if there had been any calls or anything of that sorts of lights in the area. I actually had to quickly pull up my email, because as you were telling me this story, I was convinced in my head that you had written us an email, and I had just read it today, and I opened the email and it's not. And there's someone, I'm not going to read it today because I sent it to someone to read for the show, but it's from a kitty who describes almost the exact same thing, like two lights in the sky. She says one's gold, one's white. They were kind of dancing around each other, and she actually captured pictures of the light.
No.
Yeah. So, I will. I will try to get this one done and edited for next week. So if you're watching next week's show, I'll have that up with the pictures as well to show people. Because I actually was like, did you write me in? Did you send me a story like this week and now you're calling in? I was like, this kind of defeats the purpose. I was like, but it's so weird. It's so weird that there's such a, just sitting in my inbox here, a very similar story. So you're not alone in seeing these things. So
I know, watching the show and, for however many years, it definitely makes me feel like I'm not alone. And I've heard stories kind of like this before, like on your show. So I was pretty excited to like call in, and I didn't want to for a while because I was anxious, and then it stopped for a while. So I was like, all right, now's my time to shine.
Yeah, no need to be anxious. We'll walk through it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Skylar, for calling in with that story. I hope it inspires more people to call in, when they've seen strange lights in the sky.
Right. I've got a couple more. I'll try to call again in the future.
Beautiful. Well, you got another quick one?
Yeah, so I think it was probably like my senior year or junior year in high school, and I was doing track and field, so I remember just during like the spring and the summer just being so tired every single day.
Yeah.
But having kind of like a restlessness when I'm like trying to go to bed. And sorry. So I'm like looking out my bedroom window, looking at the stars, because we lived in like a really remote area and you could just see everything. Moon, it was pretty bright that night. And I remember seeing kind of like a blotted out spot in the sky, but it had a shape. It was like a triangle, but it was just like the emptiness of light. You couldn't see the stars, which was really abnormal in like a clear night in the country. So I remember watching it for a while, and it was kind of like rotating, doing like a very slow circle in the sky. And we had lots of like
now just
like
quick
farmland.
on that, just a quick note. When you say it was circling the sky and you said it was a triangle shape, was the same like point facing like moving, or was the craft spinning as well? Do you know what I mean?
Like
in the circle?
The points were like going like counterclockwise.
Okay.
But like
and
staying in place.
Okay, interesting. What I wanted to do
Right.
is I wanted to try to eliminate some sort, because there's various United States spy planes that when you see on certain angles get mistaken for UFOs all the time. But that description,
Right.
that the counterclockwise spin of it, they don't do that.
Yeah. It was like, it was sitting in place, but like doing like a counterclockwise like spin in the sky, and it was just like blackness. And I was watching it for a while and just sitting at the edge of my window, just being like, what, this is crazy. And my dad was really old-fashioned because he would keep my cell phone in the kitchen charging on a counter for me and my brother. We couldn't have them at night, so I would have taken a picture, had he not been so strict.
Yeah.
So this thing shot off faster than anything that's like known, that like is, known to the public. It was like Star Wars, like the way that it just like, the light was so bright and it just took off like so unbelievably fast. Like, it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
It's so interesting that, that description of like the abscess of light, because that's been described like last week, earlier tonight. Well, like a lot of people see that and forget to like look for that, where it's like, I think that gets missed a lot of times when people are out at night. They're looking for those lights. They're looking for those lights in the sky, but also look, if it's no light pollution, for areas where you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. There's just nothing there, and there should be something, because that's sounding like to me, it would make way more sense for something to come in and be covert, being like that, than flashing all sorts of different lights.
And as far as I know, there aren't really any military bases around that area. It's like in Allegheny County in New York. That's where I grew up, and it's very remote, lots of farmland, like no big city lights. The closest like Walmart is 45 minutes away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I wonder if any reports of crop circles or anything in your area.
Not that I've like heard of, because I've always been big into this stuff. My dad used to watch Star Trek, and we grew up watching like Star Wars and stuff. So, not that I know of, but I definitely know that people have seen something like that around that area before. But there's no like known military, like large military, like aircraft bases right there.
Interesting. That's fascinating, and I hope more people now hearing that, like, when you're keeping those eyes on the skies, like we always say, it's, don't be looking just for the obvious, those weird lights, look for also weird absence of light. That's what I was trying to say, because maybe it sounds like a lot of people have experiences that are just as phenomenal or weird, seeing no light. So it's really interesting. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
All right, take care of yourself.
You too, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, awesome. I love getting people's UFO calls. It's been a real alien UFO night tonight. So, if you've seen something in the sky, you've seen some weird lights, now's your chance to call 1-833-703 0424. Like I said before, the caller came along. We're raising money for ads. Someone in the chat said, I thought we were raising money for ads. That's what we're doing. The first round, all of our social media posts got boosted and advertised all over, but we got a caller on, so let's go right to the caller. Cosmic Channels, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Braden? This is Eduardo from Seattle.
What's going on, Eduardo?
Hey, so I'm loving the spooky alien vibes tonight, so I thought I'd call with my story about a UFO that I saw.
Beautiful.
Pretty quick little story. Nothing crazy happened, but so I was leaving work one day, and I work in West Seattle in a building. So it's like right at the top of the hill.
Yep.
And, you know, when I come out of the building, if I look dead ahead, it's like there's a couple houses, and then past that is like straight downhill, and then there's water. So as I was coming out, I happened to look up, and I saw this green light. And I was like, maybe somebody's flying a drone, you know? I figured, but it was weird because it sat so perfectly still that I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, right? If it's a drone, because drones, you're usually zooming around, coming back and forth, and you can kind of hear, right? I would figure it because I could see it. It looks like it's so close that I figure, if it's a drone, I should be able to hear
the whine or something.
It was,
there's pretty quiet ones, but usually
it was quiet.
You can hear the like.
Right.
Of the rotors.
And I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense that it would be an airplane because I'm only seeing one green light.
Yeah.
And it's not a helicopter because I'd be able to hear that too. So I just kind of sat there and looked at it for probably, I don't know, like a minute and a half or something. And then it started to drop slowly, but then it just like zoomed straight down. And I was like, okay, that was definitely not a drone because, you know, even if they were to just zoom straight down, it was like so quick that if I would have blinked, I would have completely missed it.
I mean, the weirdest part is like, because I'm thinking in my head I'm like, okay, is it that strange for, you know, I've seen those high speed drones or those racing drones that, you know, they can move pretty quick. But I still think if something would have accelerated downwards, you would have heard, like, the rotors going, right? Or louder, right? Or heard something based on how close.
Yeah, and then as it was coming down, it's like the light, like, blinked out, you know?
Yeah. Just not...
Like, I could see the light, but then as it's zooming down, it's like the light just completely fades out, which is another weird thing, too. I'm like, LEDs... they don't really fade out. Well, I mean, some of them do, but like, I would think if it was like a drone that died out, you know, it would just gone, dead, you know?
It's I mean, it's the weirdest thing for me is like not hearing any of the sound. Cause I'm like, where would that have gone? You know, I don't know if there's drones. I'm not up on my 100% on my drone knowledge, so I don't know if there is drones with lights that they can just, you know, on the controller turn off or something. So for me, the weirdest thing is still the silence, because like I don't know any that are that quiet, that make no noise at all, especially traveling at how you're describing that you would have missed it in a blink. Like it definitely would put off some sort of sound. So is this area where you're looking, is that over the water then?
Yeah, so I actually got curious because I was like, well, how close are we to the actual water, right? And so if I were to hop in my car and just drive straight over in that direction, because this is a residential area, like,
yeah,
you know, this building's kind of in the middle of a residential area. It's like the only kind of big building, and then there's just houses all around.
Yeah.
So then if I were to drive in that direction, it would probably take me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to get to the edge of the water.
Yeah. Interesting. So maybe that's
the other thing that's interesting is, so in that direction from where I am, so there's actually that's towards the direction of a naval base that we have nearby.
Okay.
And I believe it's Bremerton is the name of the town. So and I know that they've got like nuclear subs and stuff over there.
Well, I
So
mean,
I just thought that was it was specific, like it was just weird that it was in that direction.
well, it's interesting
And then
too
there's
because
this-
it's, I mean, on two sides of that, right? Because we know historically there's been a lot of UFO activity around nuclear bases and stuff like Maelstrom and various others that
Right.
stories of them disabling nukes and whatnot. So maybe it's something interested in that area, or on the flip side of it, maybe it is some sort of advanced tech that that the military possesses. That they were doing some testing on that you just happened to catch right in that area.
Yeah.
So
right.
either way, like cool on both sides. I mean, definitely a little cooler if it's the alien side, but
yeah, and it's just one of those things that it's like every once in a while I'll bring it up to like a buddy or somebody who I'm talking to. I'm like, oh, I saw this weird thing, and they're just like, huh. What could that have possibly been? Because it's not an aircraft, right? Because you don't see aircraft just like nosedive like that.
No,
especially near a residential area. Like I'm pretty sure that's a big no-no.
Yeah, well, unless it crashed, but then I'm pretty sure you would have seen the
right,
news.
But then I would have heard the crash, right?
Yeah, it would have made the rounds the next day at the water cooler. Like, did you hear about that thing that crashed 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, anyone else? Do you know the date, around the date and time this happened?
Oh man, this was a while ago. I want to say it was probably either 2016, 2017, and it had to have been. I want to say it was probably in the winter time because I think I remember when I came out, it was cold. And so I was like walking to my car, and then I just happened to look up, and I was like, oh, that's a cool looking light. And then it just sat there perfectly still, which I was like, that's not normal for any kind of, lights around a residential area.
Yeah, no, it's that's a strange one. That's a strange one for sure. The thing is, I was trying to debate whether I'd be able to look on MUFON to see the area, but like Seattle's kind of the whole West Coast, big cities, hotbed for reports of UFOs. So it's like to narrow it down, it'd probably like, if we knew exact date with those, the next time you see one, date and time, baby, write that down. So then we can look up to see if other people report that and stuff and get a report into MUFON. But it's interesting. I mean, it's just weird. Do you think maybe it's a USO where what do they call them now? Transmedium, where it was definitely headed for the water. So like, was that where it would be?
Yeah, I mean that's what I would figure too. Is that if it's heading straight down like that, you're either hitting the roof of somebody's house or you're dead in the water. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's perplexing for sure, and
it's stuck with you. That's the thing. It's stuck with you.
I mean, yeah, for sure it has, yeah.
Right, and that's a huge telling thing is because some of the ones like I've seen, I've been like, oh, I've seen a video and it's stuck with me. Like that's weird. And then you'll see something similar later in life. You're like, okay, maybe that's what I saw that one time. But for you to still hold on to that and be like, this was so weird. I still tell people about it.
Yeah,
it's so strange. It's very interesting.
Right,
so.
and I did encounter another light. Well, I thought it was a light, but it actually turned out to be a planet. This was over the summer. I was out in my backyard, and again, same thing. I just happened to look up, and I was like, "What's that? That's a really bright light," And then I actually took out my cell phone camera, and I zoomed in pretty much as far as I could go, and I actually did manage to take a picture of this, it's an orb, a blue orb.
Yeah.
And then I looked up later on. It was, I believe it was one of the planets was visible.
Was it early morning?
I can't remember which one it was. No, it was. I want to say like 8:30 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah, you'd have to. You got to get the Skyview app, man. Sky or Stargaze.
No,
or
I know. I that's how I figured out that what it was. Is that that's what I downloaded. I was like, oh, let me check out the Skyview, and sure enough, it was such and such planet is visible from this month to this month. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's nice when you can eliminate things like that. It does kind of when you're like, damn it, I wish it wasn't.
I know. I was like, oh man, did I get something?
Yeah.
And then nope, it's just a planet.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to be traveling the tour in the United States, shaking hands about this experience. Oh, no, just a planet. Hey, Eduardo, thanks for calling in with your story.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate all you guys do.
Hey, thank you. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bye. Woo! A lot of aliens tonight. I love it. Lines are hot. Let's go right back to the lines. Cosmic Channels. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Harsh. I'm calling from Surrey, BC, actually.
Woo! Local. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I popped in my car to head over to a cafe, and I saw Cosmic Channels was back, and at the time was like 6 o'clock. I was like, there's a story I've always been wanting to share, but like, I just am never like remembering to call at that specific time that you guys were on.
Well, it's fate. Let's hear it.
So it's not actually my story. It's actually my mom's story, but I always thought it was really weird. So my mom is from Punjab in India.
Yeah.
And when she was a kid, around 4 or 5, this would have been like early 70s, there were 2 brothers in her village. They both disappear. One day they're working in the fields, right? And that night, the night that they disappear, some guy comes to the village and his hands are wrapped in chains and they're covered in oil, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So he knocks on the doors of every person in the village, and he's asking the name of one of the brothers, where is he, right? Everyone's kind of freaked out. They don't let him in. They don't answer. They don't really know where the brothers are. And guy disappears. The next morning, they look around. They can't find the brothers anywhere. And that same guy comes back the next night. And, it's, the hell?
Yep. Oh, you can't do that to me. No. His phone die? Connect to Bluetooth? I need to know. He's going to forget now to call in. He says he always forgets. I need to know what's up with these oiled chains. How? Oh, hopefully this is him. Cosmic Channels.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Oh.
The call dropped.
Okay, I was like, oh no. I was like, you got me hooked.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. I was it looks like the electricity just went out in the neighborhood, and then for some reason my call dropped. And
all good, man.
But so like on the second night, this guy comes back. My mom never described what he really looked like, other than the chains, because she was quite young, and like my grandparents wouldn't let like any of the kids in the house go really close. Just my grandfather wouldn't answer the guy's questions, wouldn't let him in. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
think that's pretty universal. Even if a guy comes to your house now with oiled up chain hands, you're like, yeah, I'm not answering.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, like, I have a kid now myself, and like some like freaking creepy guy covered in oil with the chains like wrapped on his arms comes in. I'm just like, you don't seem copacetic, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you don't seem all right.
Yeah. We're good.
I think the guy came 3 times. 3 nights he came. The brothers weren't found, right? After the 3rd night, they find the body of one of the brothers in a field, like on the other side of the village, not where he was last seen. Like, it was like a natural death. At least that's what they said. Like, heart attack or something. But the other brother was never found, right?
And was that
the guy with
the brother that was never found? Was that the one who the chain man was looking for?
No, he was looking for both brothers.
Oh, okay. So
he was looking for both brothers. Like in those days, this is like, this was very shortly after partition, and
Yeah.
everyone in that village weren't originally from that village. Like, people of that village were displaced.
Okay.
And then, my mom's family and all their surrounding families, they came in and kind of took that area over because it was basically empty. And the vibe I got from the explanation my mom gave, because even this is like almost secondhand from her, right?
Yeah.
Is that it was someone or something from whatever was there before, like, my family moved in, basically, right?
Oh, weird.
Because they never found the second brother, but once they found the body of one of the brothers, the guy disappears, right?
And he's never seen from.
I asked my grandparents.
From again.
Sorry?
He's never seen again.
No, just he just showed up, and it was like, they had police in the village,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, the police would do nothing. They wouldn't go out. They wouldn't go looking for the brothers. It was like very superstitious, whatever was kind of the energy around this guy. I mean, I asked my grandparents about it, but they don't want to talk about it. It's like, for them, it's very much like, I mean, now they're quite old and
Yeah.
there's a little bit of dementia, but they do remember that, but they don't want to talk about it. Like, it just seems like one of those things, like, it's bad news. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of curious, just because I don't know everything about I don't know a lot about the Punjab culture, but is it similar to like Southeast Asia, where it's like it is so believed there, like that's a reason why they're not talking about it, is like, we don't talk about it because this happens and we don't want to bring any attention to it. Like, is that the vibe?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly the vibe. Like, I'm a Sikh, and my religion, they say you're not supposed to be superstitious, but culturally it's a different thing. Everyone's got lots of superstitions.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that, like they believe in, like the evil eye and stuff like that. Some stuff you just don't talk about. You just don't bring it up because it's like you don't want to attach that negative energy to yourself.
Yeah.
This is kind of like one of those things. Like, my mom shared this story when we were younger, but she doesn't want to talk about it again very much. I don't even remember now if it's like I asked, have you ever had a weird encounter or whatever it was, or whatever I'd asked her, but she shared this story, and this one always kind of stuck with me because it was like...
It gives me shivers. It gives me shivers thinking about this weird oiled up chain man, looking for kids. Like, I'm like, it reminds me of there's actually I apologize, I don't remember his name, but he, like, the English name for him would actually be Oily Man, and he's like almost like a black shadow, but he's in, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, like Malaysia, and he's like and he stalks young men and women at night. And he looks like a shadow, but he's all oil, and they call him like Oily Man. I can't remember the actual term for it, but this kind of sounds like that same kind of vibe, like this evil presence that searches, young people out. It's freaky.
Oh, it genuinely like gave me nightmares for some time after, because it's one thing to hear the story, but like, my mom genuinely believes it, like, and my grandparents don't want to talk about it, and it's like you're kind of left with this like haunting like thought of, could this have really happened? Because they're not bullshitters; they're just genuine salt of the earth people. Like, my granddad was like an accountant, and his family were farmers, and he still remembers the partition. He lived through the partition.
Yeah,
and so he's just not like he's not prone to tall tales.
Yeah.
So, you bring this up and they just don't want to talk about it. That makes me think like,
it makes me think it left such an impact on them that they're like, no, like, we don't know what that was. We all like, we don't want all of a sudden knocks at our door now. Right? We don't know what this thing was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's freaky. It's gives me the shivers.
And the thing is also like, it was so strange because the two brothers, right? They weren't like little kids. They were like, I guess in their 20s. Like, they were young men. Like, they were young, strong men, right?
And for one to go missing and one turn up dead, like.
Yeah, one disappeared, and once the the dead one was found, the guy was never seen again.
That's
Never
so
seen again.
weird.
They still like I've asked, like, so my mom is the oldest one in the family among her siblings, and I've asked the siblings, and they were like, my aunt and uncle were way too young, so they don't remember anything, so they don't really know much about this story. But my grandparents and my mom are definite, like, this thing had, like, they remember who these people were. Like, they were like distant cousins. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
everyone's kind of vaguely related to each other in these old Punjabi villages, right?
Yeah.
So this was like a distant relative, but like they don't, no more talking about it beyond, like, everything I've shared with you is basically exactly what they know, what they say.
Yeah.
And it's just odd. Like, it's just like you never really, like, you're just left wondering, like, what was this thing? Because, you know,
well, you're twofold. You like
after
want to know, but
partition-
you're like, you don't want to experience it. You don't really want to know. You're like, God damn. You're like,
oh yeah, no, I don't really want to know. I'm not like a big, I like supernatural stories and stuff. Like, I enjoy listening to you guys' show, but I don't actually want like a supernatural thing like that to ever happen to me. It's
dude,
just like, just bad vibes.
Yeah, some of the experiences you hear people have, I'm like, okay, like, absolutely not. Like, I want no part of that. I love listening to it, but zero part. I don't want zero part of anyone knocking on my door covered in oil with chains wrapped around their arms and hands. I want none of that. None of that. I'm just not built. I'm not built to deal with that kind of stuff. Maybe some people are, not me. I'm not.
Oh, exactly. And it's like, and when you think about it, like, this dude, like, the oil was like this black tarry stuff. That's like how my mom said, like, black oil.
Yeah. Okay.
And he went through the whole village. He went through the whole village asking where these brothers are. And it makes you think, like, did he go to the house of the brothers? Like, did he talk to the parents? Like, what the hell exactly was he doing? And then he just disappears. And he's looking the same for 3 nights in a row. And I don't know. Especially, like, my mom's family is originally from Pakistan.
Yeah.
And then when partition happens, they move over to India. And it's like, who knows before they came there what happened in that land? Because that's not really their original home.
Yeah.
Right? This is the kind of thing I discussed with my mom before, because, like, you lose a lot of family connections, like, in that kind of, like, massive kind of traumatic event. And so the people who lived there before 20 years ago, like, all those people are long gone, but who really knows what happened in that place before? Because it's like, I asked my mom, like, about ghost stories. She's like, they don't know what the history of that village was before they moved in. And
Yeah, they don't know what happened.
Houses were empty and fields were empty. They have no idea. So this random thing comes out of nowhere. It's not like you can say, like, oh yeah, like, 100 years ago there was a family that lived here and there was a tragic murder suicide. No, like, they just have no idea what the history of, like, they've built their own history over generations since they moved in.
But they don't know what was there before. Prior. The
Yeah.
because this does intrigue me, because I'm like, dude, superstitions, especially ones that kind of cross over, different areas, are wild to me, because this one sounds so much like that one from Malaysia. I just quickly looked it up. It's called Orang Minyak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a some sort of supernatural creature that looks like a man that with shiny black grease all over its body, and it apparently can like climb.
That sounds very similar to what my mom described.
Right, and it's
that's very creepy.
Yeah, it's super creepy. And this is a huge in Malaysia. Like this creature. It abducts young women and men at night. It's the one you're talking about is creepy because it's searching. It's searching for certain people, and it makes me think, like, well, I kind of would like to know what they did, so I never do that.
Oh, exactly. That's the thing. No one knows. I mean, like, my mom said it seemed like a natural death, but what if it wasn't? Like, this thought came in my mind. Like, what if it was like a violent death? And my mom, like, when I was asking this as a kid, just kind of spared me the details, like one brother murdered the other, right? Like,
yeah.
What if something like that had happened, or even something like, fucking Cobra bit one of the brothers and he died of something like that, like, not like a heart attack. Like, who really knows what happened between them? But then, why does the other one disappear? Did he cause something? And yeah, like,
why is this guy? What's this guy outfitted for? Well, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this third party looking for them is like not dressed appropriately, other than to scare the bejesus out of everyone.
Oh, yeah. He just like literally is just, you know, he's got like arms wrapped in chains like Kratos or something, just dripping black oil, and yeah, like even like the description of him is like, I don't know if he was fat or thin, tall, like nothing. Like my mom had no information. That was the visual. You know, like the chains wrapped on the arms, covered in oil.
I mean,
and it's just like it's like traumatizing the whole village. Like it's just.
And someone, you know, someone in the chat is saying, like, you know, and I tend to agree. It's like just because of the description and the events that transpired, we're kind of like pointing to this creature as like I'm like guilty. You know what I mean? Like, guilt, that thing, whatever that thing was, did it. But someone's like, what if that thing's like some sort of protector that they didn't know about, and it's like looking for the brother, like it's searching for the brothers for some other reason. I'm like, I don't know. It left. It didn't leave a good vibe with everyone. I'll say that much. If it's some sort of protector.
Negative vibe, and you know, culture to have.
Whoa, I'm losing you here.
Right?
I'm losing you here. Can you? Oh,
sorry,
there you're back now. Yeah, you sound a little bit like you're in a fishbowl, but it's all good.
Oh, sorry about that.
There we go.
There's this thing called nudger, which is like bad energy. It's that evil eye thing, and it's like, you know, that stuff attaches itself to you, and like we mentioned before, like you bring up that story, people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to get bad vibes, but like it's a cultural belief that it can be attached to you, that people can do that to you, whether you think it's like witchcraft or just some quality of a person that they can stick you with bad energy. It's just it gives that vibe. Like a protector feeling wouldn't give you that vibe.
No.
Like, people, they just know right away that this is bad news.
Yeah, well, they're keeping their kids away. They're like, no, like stay away from this thing. It is a weird thing, because like even with like my mom was like that with Ouija boards. It's like I remember bringing like a mini Ouija board into the house, and it was just like up in arms. No, this thing has to go. It can't. And I know she's had an experience, and she's since I've been doing this kind of podcasting and stuff, she's like, I'll show you how to use it if you want. And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to, because it's obviously traumatized you to the point where, like, when I was a kid, you were upset that one was in the house, right? And threw it away. Like, so I was like, what? Like, I've always kind of been like, you know, that's kind of weird, but like, ugh. Hey man, thanks so much for calling in. That's awesome. I love creature calls, and that is something else. If anyone else knows, you know, any descriptions or names of this kind of what this thing could be, and I'm leaning towards the orang minyak from Malaysia, very similar. Call in, let us know. But thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for taking the call. I appreciate that.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, terrifying, man. That is so terrifying. Gave me, every time I'm thinking about that, it just gives me shivers. No, it's not too late to call. 1-833-703-0424. I had some technical difficulties at the beginning, so I don't mind taking a couple extra calls. We got tons of people helping support the show. I've been trying to give you guys shout outs, but the lines are too hot. But I saw Hillbilly, there we go, Hillbilly donated. John Jacoby, thank you so much. And Chango sending in some donations perfectly. That's all going towards our ad campaign. We're going to do a podcast-wide ad campaign, you know, so when you listen to other shows, you'll hear a little ad for Cosmic Channels pop up ahead of time. And we also had, with Bandito, through the PayPal, we had one other one that I was going to read. It just logged me out here. But I got time for one more call. So if someone wants to call, 1-833-703-0424, I'll take one more call. We had an awesome donation from Thomas. So thank you, guys. Everything we raise goes right back into the show. Someone in the chat's asking, you know, in the ATT Lives, we've been raising money to get Andrew a green screen. It is. The green screen is secured. It got delivered to his house. He should, you know, you probably will see it this week, or maybe this live or this next case file coming up. if we don't have one more call, I am going to... You know what? I have one more fan submission, but I'm going to save it. I think I got enough from this episode. But we're going to shut down the lines. If you want to stick around for a shareholder meeting, we kind of have a quick get-together, kind of go over the numbers, see where we're doing, see how we can improve things. And you know what? I'm an absolute idiot. I just realized. I'm an absolute idiot. I told everyone last week in the shareholders meeting I would have what's in the box ready, and I do have it ready. Here it is, and I completely forgot about it. Look at this. I totally forgot to ask anyone. I was too enthralled with stories. So officially, next week, if you call in with a story, you can find out, take your stab at what's in the box. It's going to remain in there till someone guesses it, and then when someone guesses it, I will send it to them. It could be anything. Spatula. Could be anything. You're going to have to put your mind to it. We're looking for the best of the best of those remote viewers to crack the case to see what it is. Maybe it's scissors. You'll have to call in with a story. If you tell a story before you end the call, I'll let you take a stab at what's in the box in the future. But that's it for Cosmic Channels. Thank you, everyone who's been tuning in and listening and donating. The best way to help the show is, give us a like and follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment, share a post, and that's it for Cosmic Channels. The lines are now closed. We will see you all next week. I'm back. Shareholder meeting. I can't believe I forgot that. It took me so long to set up. I found a cool looking box. Not the box I ordered. My box I hadn't ordered hadn't come in yet. But then I found this cool looking one. Doesn't it look like it looks like there could be there? I'm not even gonna say how big it is. But this is a legit what's in the box? What's in the box? It's awesome. The music at the beginning, I have no idea why. What's going on here? Why is that not working? Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just had to scroll in the chat. Yeah, so listen, if you're listening to the shareholders meeting, this is only for YouTube. Head to the Cosmic Channels YouTube. Watch the videos. Just put them in the background. Let them play through. We need to hit 3,000 hours of watch time so I can monetize the channel. Our ad campaigns, so people are asking, I shouldn't have said boost, ad campaigns. So what I would do is I would run the social media posts as ads. So it was a clip of a story and then Cosmic Channels, and it would have the date and time and how to call. Saw a bump. I mean, listen, I probably spent just over 180 on boosting various Instagram ads, and we saw a bump. We saw a bump in the numbers. It was nice to see. Usually when there's a lull midweek, right between release shows, we saw a nice little pyramid before going back down to today's release. Other good news, I think, as we are talking right now. Let me pull this up here to confirm it. Fingers crossed. How do I do this? Why isn't this working? Not quite yet. Today might be our single biggest download day ever. Not ever, but since the return. So we will... I'll have to check back in. We're close. We could do it. Maybe not. We've got, a couple more hours. You should put some glowing eyes through a peephole. Oh, I could do that. Like on the box there. I think the box looks creepy. I like this box. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh man, I was like, this is gonna be. I almost should just cancel my order. I was like, this one looks just so freaky looking. I just got a little red light on it right now. So I completely forgot I had it hotkeyed and everything. Like, so when you're saying peepholes, do you mean so it looks like you're looking through a peephole, or like what do you mean? Like behind the box, there's red eyes, or do you mean like I should have a paper with holes, and so the camera angle looks like like that, looking at the box? Okay, let's not be gross here, guys. We're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about my box anymore. Yeah, message me on Discord, then I can see it out. The other issue I'm having is I wanted to try to run a test call this week. We talked about it last week. I cannot get it to work. I have this thing called Voice Meter, and it's supposed to be able to port numerous mics and make it for different outputs. I cannot get the settings right, because basically what I would have to do to have someone guest host is I would have to have. Oh, someone's calling. I thought I turned the lines off. Cosmic Channels, you're in the shareholder meeting. What's going on?
What's up? Whoa, cool.
What's going on? Are you watching live stream? How are you liking Cosmic Channels so far?
Oh, dude, I love it.
Good.
I love it, man. It's the best. It gets me through my freaking remodeling jobs.
Nice. Any tweaks? Any changes? What do you think?
No tweaks, no changes needed, man. You guys are flying high right now.
Yeah, it's good. Do you listen to primarily the podcast version, or do you catch the live streams too?
I catch both of them. I catch both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. I'm sure if not, I'm talking to you. I'm always messaging you on Instagram.
What's your handle?
It's let's see. I think it's the real Giovanni Martinez.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm always sending stupid shit.
Oh yeah. I see it. I see it all. I see it all.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm always in the fucking house like space news.
Good.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I'm just I usually hang around in the after and take feedback. I guess I could leave the line open for people to call in and tell me rather than having to talk in the chat. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Shareholders meeting? Like as far as how we could make the show better, I guess.
Yeah, so what I do is after the lines are done in the actual show, cuz I keep this all up on the YouTube for people who watch YouTube. This is all bonus. If you listen to the podcast, you get none of this. So what I do is in this period of time, I talk to people about like, hey, what are some ideas? How can we grow the show? What can we do differently? What should we be putting the money for the show? It's this is the fan show, so I let the fans kind of guide it. So right now we're saving for more ads. The focus right now is grow the show, more callers, more listeners. Right. So that's what we're doing.
I think I've been listening since before COVID, so I think one of the biggest things that helped me like the show so much more was just how you guys would collaborate with other shows, like other podcasts, like the Greg Carlwood, dude. That shit took me in a loop. Like, just listening to like what he brought to the table, and then like how you guys would just mesh really well with the content he was bringing. I think that's a really good idea. Collaboration seemed to me big, like across the board. Just because I always got to figure out how to grow my company too.
Yeah.
So I think, dude, more collaborations for sure. But obviously with an incentive, like them paying to be on the show versus the other way around.
Well, it's most of the collaborations we do, it's both. Everyone's doing it for free. You're just doing it to kind of help each other out. For Cosmic Channels, what I've been toying with, and I'm not ready yet. I only have so much time. My problem is I only have so much time during the week to work on these things. So right now is I would like to eventually, maybe, once a season, because I'm starting to think in my head that I'm going to do 10 episode seasons. So we're at 7.8, season 7, episode 8, and I'm going to go to 10. And then I'm going to kind of not take a step back, but I'm just going to maybe take a week or two to kind of see if there's any big tweaks I can make and switch it up. But one of the things I would like to do is have I would like to do like a guest host. So someone who has a podcast, that maybe has, similar, a podcast of similar nature. And maybe one of their hosts would like to guest host Cosmic Channels and give their audience a chance to call in and tell their story. So it just kind of, it kind of like spreads the tentacles of Cosmic Channels out.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah. I think that'd be a really good idea because it would give the audience a fresh view of somebody else's podcast. And, there's always a different twist to the story. So I think, I think there is going to be a twist based on how the content creators feeding the stories to their audience,
Yeah. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I guess that's the best way I could word that, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Were you calling to tell a story?
I was planning on it, but
I'm
actually running some research. I'm running up some recess lights right now, so maybe this is actually plenty for me right now.
Okay. Well, hey, call in next week. I want your story. I will make time for it. If closer to 7:30 is when the best time you can call in, I'll stay it on so you can get your story on.
No, you're good, man. I'll go ahead and call in right when you guys are starting up or even starting to take calls.
Go
way you're, like
10 minutes early.
As much time as you do.
10 minutes early. Call in. So 5:50. Okay. I'm in studio and the lines are open.
Okay, will do, Braden. I appreciate it, man. This was crazy, man. I'm like starstruck right now.
Don't be, man. All right, take care of yourself.
You too, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, the lines are open, so if anyone else has any things they want to pitch or something. I still can't. You know what? I did it again. I should have asked him what the hell's in the box. He could have been the first tester. God damn. Whatever. It's all good. I will. It's growth, right? That's what it is. It's growth. So I will. I can't believe honestly, I had to run wires. This box isn't even on location. That's the crazy part. It's a live feed. That's a live feed. That's not a picture either. That's a live feed of the box. I could walk over there and touch it, and then you see me, but it would take me a while. Anything else? So I'm like, I think, we're halfway to the $500 ad campaign, and I think that's going to be the best moving forward. Is that, and then just when I can, just keep boosting posts. What I would like to do is, maybe once we have the $500 for the audio ad campaign, I'll just put that aside, save a little bit more so that we can do kind of like a blitz one week, all podcasts, and then boost a bunch of socials. I think that would be the best because I think we're probably sitting at $200 something now with all of this because it doesn't show in. Yeah, so it's like $270. So yeah, we're more than halfway there. So anything else, guys? What do we need to work on? I had to run a little late only because I know the beginning of this episode is going to be fucked up, so I wanted to take another call and make sure I could sneak in an hour. Welcome, Uncle Slam. Yeah, I could. I've got this is locked. This is the box is locked up. It looks creepy. Like it's a big old metal. Like I can tell you guys what it used to be for. No, I'm not going to tell you guys what it used to be for because then you'll know the size. Like you're not sure if this is zoomed in. You're not sure if this is zoomed out. This could be 6 feet tall on a low angle. I'm not telling you nothing what this box is for. It looks creepy, and that's all you're going to get to see of it. Yeah, Well, you can call. I just can't. There's no way I can get this working. But if you want to give me a call right now. Well, it doesn't. No, I'd have to do it on Skype, but I can't get it to work anyways. It doesn't. The issue I have right now is I would have to have someone on Skype. I'll get some invalid ID. I'll get some more lights on it. You'll be able to see it a little better. But I want to keep a spooky element to the box. I don't want to give too much away to the box. I want to keep it kind of spooky. The issue I'm having is this. And Uncle Slam's in here. I know he does audio stuff. Maybe he knows. We can give it the old college try, I guess. Let's do it. Why not? But this is the issue. It's well, no, I would need someone to Skype to I don't even know what my Skype is. Give me 1 second. It's opening. It's Braden ATT. Braden space ATT. Well, no, so it doesn't really matter the platform. What it is this. So when I bring someone on Skype, I want the microphone that they hear. So normally the microphone that they hear is my voice coming out of this microphone. But what I actually want is I need to make an audio, basically a mixed audio that's my mic and the call, which would be the speaker. Let's see this. Okay, let's try this. I don't even know what's going on here. Hold on a second. Hold on. You gotta mute that live stream. There we go. Hold on. Why is this not working? 1 second. Microphone is going to be Focusrite. And that is going to be speakers Realtek. There we go. I can hear you now. So the issue that I have is this. So I have voice meter open. I need to port in my microphone.
You should have Slam call in, and maybe he can help you walk you through it.
Well, hold on. Let's just look at this. Can you hear this?
I can hear you on my phone. Yes, I had to mute the live.
Can you hear ring? Did you hear ringing?
I heard ringing on my phone when I called you. Yeah, it went doo 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 doo.
No, you didn't hear ringing right now?
On my phone, no, because I'm live with you. What do you mean? Do I hear ringing right now?
Well, I was doing a test. I was ringing the cosmic lines. Right?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm on video because I thought maybe you need to be video if you're doing it.
If you're hearing my voice, see, I've already done it. So you should technically hear this audio ring, because if you hear my voice, it's coming through the same input. It's coming through a mixed input. So you should hear that ring, and you don't.
No, I don't. I just hear your voice.
And that's my problem, is I cannot figure out why. So then that's problem one is this, is I have right now, just so anyone who does audio is listening. Right now I have my Focusrite box.
So
the speakers are going into input 2. So it's basically mimicking a second mic, except what's going on is it's the computer audio that's you're hearing. So that's hearing your voice and see, I bet I can fix that, but then you're going to hear an echo.
Why
Yeah.
Why does it have to be just Skype? Can't you use the restream thing that you guys do the live on? Like when you have your guest hosts on live?
It won't. No, because I need to, in order to have your video to guest host, I need your NDI, which I know how to do all this already because we used to do it this way. So I can take your video and put it in the live stream. I can't actually do that with Riverside. Riverside won't let me pull the video out of the app. So I can put a window and hide it and kind of trick it, but it doesn't work as well. So Skype would work the best for this, but I'm in the same problem with either of those apps, is I'm having an issue. See, Kaylin you guys can all hear the ringing. The problem is that Bandito should be able to hear the ringing, and she can't. You want your mic in the audio. They get through the speakers. Yes, but I don't know why. She should, like, that's my problem here is Bandito should hear.
Is it different if I call in on Skype from a computer versus
No.
Skype from a phone?
If you're hearing my voice, you should theoretically be hearing the second mic, which is the audio. So it's like that's where I'm stuck. I'm just stuck on. So let me try one thing here. Let me pull this and try to see if I can
Try it
tweak
again,
those.
because I honestly wasn't listening for a ring. Maybe it was
It's
just
so
quiet.
it's so loud. It's
Oh,
so
is it?
loud that you
Okay.
like it rings my brain when it goes off.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you should be oh.
What about your
you know what?
Teams?
Hold on. Maybe hold on.
Because I got Teams too.
Okay, it won't stop. I'm gonna try something. This might fuck it up, but let's try this. Can you hear this? Nope. You can't. I can't hear it. So there's no way you can hear it. God damn it! Yeah, that ring. Yeah, that is the test ring. The test.
The
Someone
face
saying
you
the.
just did on TV did not match with what you were saying. It was completely opposite.
Oh, it's because it's the ring is
Delayed.
Someone said the ring volume could wake the dead. It could. There's no the and honestly, that was a big mistake that I was making early in my Cosmic Channel experience. Is I would do a test ring and then I'd go, oh, that's way too loud, and I'd turn down the volume because I'm like, oh my god, that ring's gonna kill me, and so I would turn it down. But the ring is like 1,500% volume compared to everything else. So I have to have the ring. So honestly, doing the show long term, I'm gonna be deaf because every time someone calls those lines, it rattles my brain. But yeah, I honestly, what I need to do is I need to sit, because I know how Zell's explained how he did it with 2 computers, and I understand fully. I could do this with 2 computers, no problem.
So we need to raise money and buy you a second computer.
No, there is no. I can do it. The issue is I'm more of a Mac guy than a PC. I always that's what I first got used to, so I'm just not very good at PC things. So with a Mac, I know exactly what to do. There's like a setting, there's like a program called like Audio MIDI, and you can create different audio MIDI. So you can go like, what is the input? And I can go, the input is going to be my mic and computer audio. And that's going to be called mic 1. And then I can put mic 1 right into Skype as my input rather than like my Focusrite. I could go my custom setting mic 1. Done. Absolutely done. Easy. It is not that easy to someone in the chat saying ring it one more time. No, I do not want to. It's so loud. And the test one is worse. The test, for some reason, they're like, oh, you want to test the ringer? Well, let's turn it up even louder.
So Invalid ID was saying, what about like Microsoft Teams? Can you do it that way since it's also a video chatting platform?
It's not. It's not an issue of like the video, like it has nothing to do with Skype. It's an issue on my end because I have 2 different. The issue I have is this: you're remote, and I have to connect you to the caller, right? So the caller comes through the computer, and I need to make their call, like the call coming through them, go to you, and your voice go to them. I can't quite get that connection properly. I can have it where you could hear yourself and echo, and they could hear you and echo, but I can't separate it right now.
What about doing the 2 of us coming in on Skype together? What if it was just like 2 Skype calls coming in to you and 3-way call it that way? Because isn't Skype supposed to be like a multi-person where you could all get together and talk and chat and stuff?
Well, hold on. Let's try this then. That's a good point. Maybe this is a...
Is there someone out there with a Skype that can call in too?
No, you know what? I think you're a genius, actually.
I am.
I
I know.
actually think you're a genius. This is why we have to. Okay, someone call the line. Someone call the line.
Uncle Slam, do it.
But I know the issue though. The issue I'm gonna have now is you might be able to hear them.
We won't hear you.
Well, that doesn't matter because if someone's guest hosting, they don't really need to see me or hear me. If someone else is guest hosting, I need someone to call the line 1-833-703-0424. I don't anyone just call the line. I need to see if this works. Because I think this is so like this fix might. I actually know it's not going to work. Oh, the line went straight to voicemail. What the fuck?
Did you open it? Is it active?
No, it's active right now. Oh, hold on. Sorry. No, it's open. What the fuck? You know why?
Because of this?
No. How do I change this setting? God damn it. My hours of operation are till 7:30. That's why. So it probably auto shut down the goddamn stupid thing. I can't find it. Where is the hour? Because I remember it was like, what's the hours of operation? I was like, oh, it's till 7:30, I guess.
So it's not ringing all night long in there.
Yeah. Why?
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
What it does is it just sends people to voicemail while I'm not in here, rather than have it ring 19 times. But numbers. Okay, there we go. Numbers. Okay, here we go. Business hours. There we go. Let's change this to. I'll go 8 o'clock just for this. 8 p.m. Beautiful. Okay. Call in 1-833-703-0424. It should be updated now.
Try again, Chango or Jessica.
Should be working. It went to voicemail again? Oh, there we go.
Oh, I hear a ring.
Okay. Can you hear me?
It's Clayton.
Clayton. Bandito, can you hear Clayton?
I hear Clayton and I hear you. And I heard it ring.
Clayton, can you hear Bandito?
I can.
Really?
Hey!
Yeah.
Did we just figure it out?
I don't know if we figured it out. You got to answer. Bandito, ask a question.
Clayton.
Yes, Bandito.
Can you hear me? Okay, so there's a little bit of a delay, it sounds like. So I'm going to ask a question and mentally count in my head. What color is the sky?
Blue.
Oh, it's not bad. That's not bad at all.
2 seconds or so? Yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay. Well, that was a very simple fix. I'm actually frustrated at how how that worked. And Clayton, you don't hear an echo for yourself?
No, sir.
Oh.
I don't hear an echo on my side either. Do you hear an echo, Braden?
No. This is now the only issue that I'm gonna have, and I won't be able to check for sure until afterwards, because I'm still recording. Because I'll record this test.
Is to how it records.
If the recording might be like bah! Like just all echo over each other, because I don't know. Like this seemed like too easy of a fix, to be honest. And maybe that, you know what? Sometimes that's the case, and that's perfect. That's perfect. I didn't think of sharing my screen and sharing the audio, so maybe that's all it took. So that's cool. Easy fix. Unbelievably easy. Zell had a second computer.
You shared your Zoom screen?
No, so what I did with you is I just shared the call screen. My like window that I have the Call Hippo dialer is shared with you, and it shares the audio with you. And then because your voice is coming through my secondary mic for the Clayton, the caller. Yeah, don't jinx it. So, anyways, I can now officially do it. So,
Sweet.
We're good. Awesome. Okay, thanks, Clayton. Thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hold on, Clayton. If you're watching the live stream.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Put your mind to it.
What's in the box?
Put your mind to it.
Last time I called, it was a pen. So, I'm going to go with stapler.
That is not what's in the box. No hints either.
Ah.
Not then. I'm not gonna tell you if you're close. I'm not gonna tell you if you were in the ballpark with office supplies. I can tell you nothing other than that is in fact what's not in the box. It's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna say this. Well, I think it is. Anytime you just have a random object in a box that you have no idea. But thanks for calling and helping us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, cheers, buddy.
It's always fun.
All right, easy peasy. That's awesome. I'm absolutely blown away. I was just pulling my hair out, the last of it, trying to figure out how this works, why I can't get this to work. Now I'm gonna pull an earplug out. I bet you can hear this. Can you hear this test?
Yeah.
See, there we go.
Yeah. It is really loud coming through mine too.
Oh, it is. It
Probably
is.
not as loud as you because you got the earphone
I had
directly in.
I had to pull one out this time because I was like, oh, it's gonna be brutal. Awesome. There. Well, that's set up. Now I can do that. I'm gonna do. My plan is, I think what I'm going to do, then, because I can do this, I think, and I got to talk to Andrew to make sure scheduling works. But I think I'm gonna get Andrew to do a tester first, and Andrew be, a guest host first.
So you're gonna sit basically and run the stream and just have him be where your face is.
Yes. And he's gonna take calls, and I'm gonna just.
But you're
produce from the
still gonna
background.
do all of the computery stuff.
Yeah, he's not touching anything. Are you kidding me? That's.
Well,
Yeah.
I had to ask.
Yeah, he's not doing nothing. So 7, 8, 7, 9, 7, 10. So maybe the end of the month. Maybe the end of the month I'll have Andrew do one. See if how his schedule looks. Just to try it out. Just why not, right? Try to mix a new face. And we'll see how it goes. He'll have his green screen, so I can green screen his background for him too. So it'll be perfect.
Green screen at your background, so it looks like he's still sitting in Island Studios.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good. That's a really good idea.
So it's just like he came to visit you and you filled in.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Perfect. Okay, thanks, Bandito.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess what kind of box it is.
Oh,
Is it an
hold
old
on.
mailbox?
No, I don't mind telling you what kind of. No, it's not an old mailbox. I don't want to
Okay.
tell. I don't want to
It
tell
looks
anyone.
like maybe that's like a slot where mail would go in.
No,
right there. Anyways,
yes.
the eyes. Did you get what we were saying about the eyes? Put eyes in that slot area, looking out, like they're red eyes looking out from inside the box.
Yes. I'm gonna have. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give too much, but that is not possible because your imagination is playing tricks on you.
Oh, that's not a slot thingy. It looks like a slot.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But I can't. I won't. I will not be able to do eyes coming out of that.
But you can see where it's dark right there. You could just put little googly eyes right on that. How about that?
Yes, I could.
Glue them to the outside.
I
of that. How
could
about that?
put googly eyes on it.
Okay.
But then you would know. No, well, we'll see because I'm gonna say the size of that thing, of what you're looking at, is between the size of my pinky or 6 feet tall.
The googly eyes will give away the size.
Googly eyes will give away the size unless I can get some
So
custom
that
ones.
that black thing is like one of those little plaque things, or it's a handle.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're looking. But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. I've placed
I'm
it.
gonna keep guessing.
I've placed it so that. Are you even sure the frame of reference of what you're looking at?
Is it covered? Like, does it have a blanket on it?
Is that the top?
something?
Is that the bottom? Or are you looking at the side? You don't know,
Oh, that's true.
right?
I guess we could be looking into the box, and that's actually what's in the box is that little black thing. That would be a mean trick.
It could be. I'm not going to say. It's interesting. It's a cool one. When I said, when I saw this, I went, I think I can do this. So, anyways, Bandito, thanks for helping me
You're
with this,
welcome.
and honestly, the credits to you. That was the most ridiculous simple fix of all time. So,
All right. Well, I'm glad I could help.
all right, take care.
All right. Night.
Bye. Awesome. So glad we sorted that out. So we'll try that. I've run late tonight, guys. I got to go. I still have to eat dinner. Thank you to everyone supporting the show. If you did listen to the newest episode, I try to make a note of everyone who donated to the episode. You get a little shout out at the beginning for thanking for sponsoring the podcast version of the episode. So thank you to everyone who pitched in tonight to get us towards our goal of growing the show. And have a good night. Keep those eyes on the skies. Peace, everybody. Cosmic lines are now closed.